Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Congratulations to all Bitcoin hodlers. Today marks a very special day where Bitcoin has put in a new all-time high. The cycle has technically lengthened now as measured from the halving, and we can go on our merry way. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. We also just launched a new collection of Into the Cryptoverse NFTs. They're going to be available until Halloween, so make sure you guys check that out in the description below. I will show you what at least one of them looks like at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and jump in. So back in April, we carried out a bit of dubious speculation that we needed a 3 to 6 month lull in the market, okay? And since then, we did in fact get that lull, and wouldn't you know it, 6 months and 6 days later, if we take a measured move here, 6 months and 6 days later, we in fact have experienced a new all-time high by Bitcoin. All right. So this was the speculation all along, is that this is not the market cycle peak. A lot of people are going to think it is. In fact, it's not. And the only thing we need in order to prove that it's not is time. And we speculated again that time is on our side. Now that that has come to pass and we know that the bulls were right, let us talk about where do we go from here, right? Where do we go from here? Well, a lot of times when breaking all-time highs, you can see quick moves to the upside. We saw that at 20K, okay? And we've seen it many times in the past when we break through prior all-time highs. And we've already seen it, and we've already seen it this time, all right? We've already seen it this time. We should note that there are instances where we move up quickly and then we come back down though. But even if we come back down, or whether we keep rallying and then have a correction, if history is any indication, then we should still keep trending higher. What I mean by that is, worst case scenario that I can imagine is, okay, yeah, like we could get a correction, but even then, the data would suggest that even in the event of a correction, we still should be able to trend higher, ultimately speaking, at least on like a multi-week time frame. So I think anything in the short term, again, as always, is just nothing more than noise. Bitcoin remains technically in an uptrend. If we were to take this, I would say somewhat conservative uptrend, if we were to take it to the bank, which we're not because we don't do that here, but you can see we first touched it here at 29K and then again at 39K. Currently the uptrend, I mean, if we were to drop quickly, we could technically go back to 45K. I don't think that's going to happen, but at some point we might retest this trend line later on. If we were to overlay what we did before and then just kind of shift it over, you can see that we're still continuing to emulate that move pretty well. And this would actually suggest, in fact, that there still is more upside in the short term, not downside. If it were to continue to emulate it, I mean, yeah, you could get a few percent pullback, but it would still suggest that Bitcoin could go to 70K within a week or so, and then maybe even 73 or 75K within a few weeks if we continue to emulate the move from 29K to 53K, and we just overlay it from the move from, say, 39K to potentially going all the way up to just shy of 70, a very modest $75,000. And I think that what we've seen is, you know, again, we bounced off the bull market support band. We said that's what we need to do to have clear skies ahead. We got the bounce, clear skies ahead. Now we're probably, I mean, at some point I imagine we will come back down and test the prior all-time high. But even that's not a guarantee, right? We said all along, overall, the market looks incredibly bullish for Bitcoin, right? It looks incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. And that we wanted to consider all things, and we wanted to say, all right, let's take an unbiased perspective, and let's pretend like we don't hold any Bitcoin. We do, right? I mean, well, I do. I don't know what you do, but like, let's pretend like we don't, and let's look at a chart and say, well, what does it look like if you were coming at it from an unbiased perspective? And again, from an unbiased perspective, you can't help but look at this and say, all right, this is an uptrend, a low and a higher low, and then a high, and we're going to have a higher high. I mean, we already have a higher high. The only question is where does it stop? Does it stop here and then pull back for a little bit before continuing higher, or does it keep going up for a while and then have a pullback before continuing higher? I don't think anyone really knows, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. We are technically in an uptrend. I would say that Bitcoin is more likely to continue moving up than down, and that, right. I mean, it's just this is the phase of the cycle that we're in. Bitcoin looks incredibly bullish. We are now above the prior all-time highs. We are coming in at around 2/3 of $100,000. 2/3 of $100,000. Obviously, the first time we hit 33K, let's go see. The first time we hit 33.3K or so was back in January. Now that was 1/3 of it of 100K. Now in October we're hitting 2/3 of 100K, and I'm telling you now, it's only a matter of time this cycle that we hit 100K. All right, not next cycle. We should go above 100K this market cycle. So we've talked about what are the implications of 64.8K not being the market cycle peak, and we speculated that it was not. Now that we've proven that it's not the market cycle peak, now again we're going to continue speculating on where it could ultimately go, and I do think it will ultimately go past 100K. All right, so there's some people saying that it'll just go to 100K and then have a pullback. Hey, that's not and everyone has their own prediction, right? And they could be right, but I would say it's more likely to go above 100K, and more than just a few $1,000s. Okay, more than just a few $1,000s above 100K. I do think Bitcoin has plenty of room to run here before it gets somewhat exhausted. And so let's just take it one step at a time, right? We're in an uptrend. We'll see where things go. Congratulations to all the Bitcoin hodlers. If you've been accumulating when the market was bearish over here, that's the best time to accumulate, as we said. And now, after 6 months, we came out the other side, right? So you see the power of just sticking to your plan. Now, I wanted to mention we did just launch a new collection of NFTs, or the winning collection. They all have some interesting names, like scheduling my interview, like getting out of bed, and to the moon. But I wanted to play them for you. I'll at least play one of them for you, and that way you guys can see it. Maybe turn down your music or something before listening to it, or turn down your sound. So basically the idea is you just have an astronaut within the cryptoverse who's now excited that we finally got that green candle. If you remember back when the market was a bit bearish, the astronaut, our friendly astronaut over here, was playing chess. Okay, he was playing chess, but now he doesn't have time for that. He is enjoying the fact that we have a green candle and that Bitcoin is moving higher. So there's 3 different versions of this NFT, and they all have slightly different endings. Of the one I showed you, there's 1,000 copies. There's another one that there's only 100 copies, and then another one that there's only 10 copies. I'll link all of them in the description below and in the comment if NFTs are your thing, if you like NFTs. I do think the NFT space is a really interesting space, and I think it's going to continue growing, as I've said before. I mean, I think digital art is only scratching the surface of what NFTs are going to do, and I think the asset class will continue to grow. Even that sub-asset class within crypto, I think the NFT space will continue to grow with time. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the NFTs. You can find a link to that in the description below as well. I'll see you guys. Oh, and by the way, the NFTs are going to be sold until Halloween. Okay, so if you want to pick one up, make sure you do so within the next couple of weeks or so. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time.